Welcome to Mandala Monkey. Today I will show you how to make this layered mandala stone design. I have put a list of materials that you will need in the description. I used acrylic paint in black, gold, red and turquoise in 4 different hues. You can get that effect when you mix the color with white. Okay, let's start. First, draw a circle onto the stone using a compass and also mark the center point with a pencil. Then fill out the circle with a black acrylic paint. Leave out the mark in the middle so we can easily find our middle point. Let the paint dry completely before you continue. I used 6 different sizes of dotting tools and toothpicks. The toothpick should be smaller than your dotting tools. Start out with the biggest one, size number 6, and put a golden dot onto the marked center of the circle. Because we want to achieve this layered design, it is important that our paint is more liquid or smooth than usual. So you can go ahead and mix it with acrylic medium or with water if you don't have it. Alright, now take your smallest dotting tool, size number 1, and add 16 dots around the center dot. Add a second row of golden dots with dotting tool size 2 in between our first row of dots. For the third row, only dot in between every second dot of the previous row. Use dotting tool size 3 and gold for the 8 first dots. Then switch to our darkest shade of turquoise, shade 4, and fill in the space in between the golden dots. Now we got this kind of a star shape with the golden color. Dot row 4 with the same shade of turquoise and stay with dotting tool size 3. We want to create a kind of ombre effect for the base of the stone. So from now on we will gradually use lighter shades of turquoise. So for the next row, dot 16 dots in turquoise shade 3 and use the dotting tool size 4. For some reason I could not find my normal dotting tool, so I improvised with this modified Q-tip that also works quite well. Row 6 will also be dotted with this tool, but let's use turquoise shade 2. For the next row, use your dotting tool size 5 and again use turquoise shade 2. You could of course actually mix 7 shades of turquoise to have an even smoother transition for the colors, but I think 4 shades also look quite nice. For the last 2 rows, you can dot with dotting tool size 6 and turquoise shade 1, your lightest shade. The dots of the 9th and final row are positioned just outside of the black background circle. See how that works out for you, but make sure that they are close to the background or just position their lower half on the circle. That is important for the layered effect we will try to achieve with today's design. For this, let the first layer completely dry before you continue, otherwise it might get pretty messy. Okay, great. The stone already looks quite nice, but we want to make it a bit more interesting with adding 3 more layers onto each dot. The first dot of the 3 layers will be in black. We will add a smaller black dot on the lower side on each of our turquoise dots. The golden dots we leave as before. Because we choose the same color for this as the background, it will create the effect that the dots are not actually a normal layer, but part of the dots is like blacked out. For each row, choose the dotting tool that is 2 sizes smaller than the original dot of that row. So let's see. We start in the 3rd row of dots because the first 2 rows are not in turquoise. We use dotting tool size 3 for this, so now we have to use 2 sizes smaller. That means we will use size 1. Same goes for the next row. For the 5th row, we will switch to dotting tool size 2. Row 6 is also dotted with the same tool. For row 7, use the dotting tool size 3. For the last 2 rows, use dotting tool size 4. I use that Q-tip for these ones. So now our second layer is already finished. Alright, we also need to let this layer dry completely before we add the next dots on top. This third layer is going to be in golden acrylic paint. We will create even smaller dots onto the layer of the black dots. Try to use one size smaller than what we used for the black dots. For the third and fourth row, we use dotting tool size 1. I know it's the same size as before, but just try to fit it onto it. Dot onto the lower side of the dot. For the next 2 rows, use dotting tool size 2. For row 7, switch to dotting tool size 3. For row 8 and 9, use dotting tool size 4. So now our design looks quite finished already. Anyway, I went one step further and added a 4th layer. As always, let the paint dry completely before creating the next dots. This layer is going to be in red, and I used a toothpick, my smallest dotting tool for this. I didn't change the size of the dotting tools, I used the toothpick for the whole stone. With the first rows, it's going to be a little bit difficult because the dots are so tiny. So you can leave these out if you want to. Add the dot on the lower side of the stone again. Now our layered mandala design is finished. I hope you enjoyed the video and the tutorial was helpful. Like and subscribe for more videos every week.